Yeah, so what we're talking about, yeah, like, do you have any dates on?
Yeah, well, I was meant to fight tonight.
Yeah.
So
You were meant to fight tonight?
yeah, tonight I was meant to have my professional debut, but my opponent pulled out a few weeks ago. So kind of sucks.
It's the third honor. You were meant to fight tonight. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is okay. Yeah. And you had two opponents, right?
Yeah. Two opponents pull out. Kind of sucks, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
It could be for the better. Like, as you know, I had surgery.
Yeah, surgery. Yeah.
So I haven't even.
What kind of surgery was it?
I had my deviated septum's fixed, so open nose surgery. So I haven't been able to spar.
Yeah.
Like, I would have literally had the fight tonight, and I don't think I would have had one sparring session.
Yeah.
So I was still game. Like, I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
It was my coach's.
And it was your first pro fight, right?
Yeah.
It would have been your first pro fight.
Yeah. I was heaps keen.
What was your what was the coach saying?
He was pretty confident because he knows the two guys that I was meant to fight that pulled out were both strikers. They made it clear that that's all they wanted to do, and I don't know how much experience they had. I think one of them only had maybe like 4 or 5 boxing fights, so I was pretty confident that I wouldn't take too much damage. I thought I'd be alright. So did my coach.
Yeah. But you guys don't have like I guess a foresight on when you reckon you'll get back in the ring, or you're just gonna try to get back into like proper full contact training? And...
Oh man, that's the goal. Yeah. I want to test it out this week to see if I can spar. My coach wants me He's just said aim to be ready in 4 weeks. We're gonna try and maybe slot in on a show. He's basically gonna put my name down everywhere. So let's hope, fingers crossed, in like a month. Yeah. At the worst 2, I'll have another fight.
Right. And your coach is Craig Jen.
Yeah.
Does he have his own promotion as well? Like,
he does.
Yeah, I saw something pop up the other day on the event calendar. Yeah.
It's weird.
North Shore, right?
Yeah. He has a kickboxing show. He does a few times a year. I fought on it a few times, and he also has a MMA show. So he's got obviously the fight night tonight's his show, and then he's got another one which I'll be fighting on in December. So yeah, I can't wait. Like, I love fighting on. Like hometown, North Shore.
Yeah. So would that be at North Sydney Leagues as well?
Yeah.
It's a good arena as well. A good setup.
You fought there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
in August last year. It was unreal, man.
Yeah.
Just the way you look at the ring as well. It's just, the environment as well. Yeah. It was it was a really good experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Being on that. But so your background, you always kind of were into martial arts from when you were young, or is it something you found along the way?
Oh, kind of started quite late actually. In comparison to my friends, I started at like 23.
Yeah. What were you doing before that?
Not much.
Yeah.
I was always very sporty. Like, I played a lot of sport in high school. I was like pretty into basketball and stuff, rugby. But as soon as I found boxing, man, everything else went out the window.
And was that when you were 23?
Yeah.
And how many boxing fights did you have?
I think I've had about 30 odd fights. Yeah. That's just boxing. So yeah, that's where I started. Yeah. And yeah, I love it, man.
And then what you found, MMA, or did you go into something different?
After boxing, I transitioned into kickboxing. Yeah. Maybe had like 10 fights. Yeah. And kept jumping back and forth between boxing and kickboxing.
Yeah. Did you find it different at all?
Yeah, definitely different.
Yeah. In what sense?
Everything.
Yeah.
I think boxing, it was crazy. Like, I think a lot of people I guess unless you're in the sport like yourself, I know you've competed in both, which I think is awesome. So as we've chatted before, you know how different it is. It's crazy. Even the competition side, the training side, it's like a whole nother world when you look at the two together.
Because I know that we were one of the things we brought up, was the vibe of boxing gyms, and I was telling you about my experience at Baratella Bombers. Shout out to Arnell and the team. But,
shout out to Arnell.
Yeah, and I remember telling you, and it was funny because you had a smile in your face, and then you said to me basically, man, that's most, if not all, boxing gyms.
Yeah.
And what did you mean by that? Like, did you just mean that? just the environment. Because one of the things that we did speak about as well in detail was just when I was telling you about my sparring experience and just even just the level of competition. And something you brought up was that you noticed in a lot of boxing gyms was that like toe to toe, everyone kind of goes really hard on each other. A lot of respect and whatnot, but like when you're there, like everyone goes hard on each other.
Yeah.
That was like something that I kind of experienced for the first time as well. Not that no one else in other gyms did, but it was just it was something different, man. Like just the level of intensity, and it's funny because I know the one thing I brought up was that especially like when I walked in and you know just the vibe of the place and the way the camaraderie and the way everyone gets around you and it's just like it was the first time I experienced something like that at that level of energy. It was just crazy, man. Like and just everyone, like especially when I was sparring and just the environment of the people around the ring and even just there, it kind of sets you up, man. It sets you up even going into an actual fight. Just the environment, I felt like it was like a simulator. I felt like that's what I felt like. I was in a simulation. Like this is the best way to simulate, emulate an actual, fight in actual environment. But yeah, like so from there, from kickboxing, you kind of started to find your feet in MMA or
so I think after let's just say roughly 10 fights, I branched out into MMA. And tried to put what I learned in boxing, kickboxing together in that. I think I had maybe 16 MMA fights now, all amateur MMA, but I think, I don't know, like maybe 70-80% of my fights have all been like overseas tournaments. Like,
tell me a bit about that, because I mean, I know I've been watching, but you were, where was it? You were in New Zealand?
This year I fought in New Zealand for the Oceanas. Which was pretty cool. So I had 2 fights at I think February. That was awesome. Like, cool experience. I won gold at the Oceanas. And then after that, I think a week later I fought in Thailand for the Asians. I had 2 more fights there at the Asian Open, and I got 1 win, made it to the semis, but I ended up getting a bronze in the Asian Open. So I've had 4 fights this year, 3 wins.
And you fought like overseas, I wouldn't say often, but compared to a lot of people. I know one of your favourite ones is was it Abu Dhabi or?
I fought in the Middle East.
In
Bahrain.
Bahrain,
that was a really cool experience.
And what was that like? Man, was that just was that like a tournament or?
It was for the World Championships. So that was a crazy experience. Having, I think, 32 people in my bracket. So from all around the world, every country had someone in there. And that was a crazy week for me. Like, I think I had, 4 fights in 4 days. And having a cage fight and, cutting weight, making weight, getting back up the next day, fighting again. It was a crazy experience, but I was just having so much fun at the same time. It was
What was that like, man? Just toying with your weight like that over a week.
It can be hard. I think I was pretty lucky because I fought in Europe I think a week before that or 2 weeks before that, and I had fought previously in like a lighter weight class, so I didn't have to be too strict with my weight like the other athletes. Like in the morning, the other athletes were in sweatsuits, like doing sprints, skipping for like 2 hours trying to make weight. And I didn't have to do that. Luckily, I was just pretty casual, just cruising down there, just jump on the scales, do my thing. But obviously, I couldn't eat much food and whatnot. But I think being a bit smarter with maintaining my weight before the comp definitely helped me with my success in that tournament particularly.
And would you put that up there as like some of the best experiences fighting overseas? Or?
Oh man, definitely. I think it's definitely up there. Like,
I know you're quite active. Like you like to fight a lot. Whoever knows you knows that.
I try, man. I try and fight all the time. Like, I'll take a fight on like a day's notice and just.
You said was it when you're 23 you kind of got into boxing, got into fighting? What is it about it that attracts you? Or kind of, you know,
that's a good
makes
question.
you want to make it basically your life and your passion, right?
Yeah.
You do this full time.
100%. It's a really good question. It's pretty deep. I guess I could answer it a lot of different ways, but I think the main way is just the challenge, I find it fun.
Yeah.
I know you talked about how intense the atmosphere is in like a boxing gym, but for me, like, it was intense for me as well, but after experiencing it, I'm like, man, what else?
Of course.
I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like this is life now. This is what I want to do, and constantly pushing myself, just seeing how much better I can get, is definitely something that motivates me. So yeah.
What's your mindset like going into fights? Like, you relax during the week, or even the night before? Are you someone that likes to kind of get the blood going, or?
No, I'm chilled, dude. I'm so relaxed. I don't know how people like amp themselves up and like the week of, or even the day of. Like, if you see me in the change rooms, I got a hoodie on, I'm sleeping in the change room if I'm there early. I'm relaxed all the way. Even when I step in the cage or whatever, I feel completely relaxed, like I'm at home.
Has there been moments where in the cage where it's two questions, you can flip them around, where things haven't been going well and you've dug yourself out, and where you feel like you've been comfortable and things ended up turning for the bad?
Yeah, I think.
What stands out to you when you think of this two?
I think, to answer your question, if I understood it correctly, is like I've definitely been challenged with fighting a lot of wrestlers in these international tournaments. Like, I fought like a guy from Russia who was, a really good wrestler. I fought an American wrestler, and sometimes the fight starts off them just like trying to hammer you with takedowns, and like, I don't know if anyone listening like knows too much about MMA, but being a striker, it's like it's kind of hard.
That's your bread and butter, right?
Yeah,
Striking.
I want to stand up. I want to stand up and fight, and these guys kind of know that from the get-go, and it's just their objective obviously is to not let me do that, which is smart. But so I guess even in the Asian Opens, my first fight, I fought China, and
do you know a lot about the guys that you fight? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, you guys just turn up, get a plane ticket, turn
that's
up,
it,
and then that's it, ready to go.
That's it. You're expecting for a hard fight, but you don't know too much about your opponent. So I think when I got to Thailand the other month to fight, my opponent's name was something like XXX Tanashi or something. And I remember my coach trying to find out like if he's even had a fight. Couldn't find out anything. So I'm like standing in the cage looking at him, being like, okay, am I fighting a wrestler? Am I fighting a striker? Like, I wonder how this is gonna play out. And like, it didn't take long to get the vibe that he didn't want to stand up and strike. So that was that's always an interesting. I love that aspect of the sport too.
I was gonna say, like, I just went deep into thinking about that. But even just as I say, think about even just training in terms of training sense, or even you have to be very reactive and switched on, and those senses will start to get better and better because you've been obviously fighting overseas. A lot of these competitions where that's the kind of setup where you don't really know much about them, and the first time you kind of really even engage with them is probably in the ring or the cage, right? So. But just those senses will improve just in general, and that's just what I took away from it when you were telling me about it, man.
You're 100% on the ball with that. Like, your ability to adapt in fighting all these different people on days after days is like changing your style, changing your stance. Like, it's definitely gonna help me in the future, I think, a lot, especially when I have time to prep for fights and do my thing. But you're right. The ability to adapt is definitely something that's helped me by being so active.
What made you go? What made you think going pro like now was a time? Because you've obviously racked up plenty of fights and experience, right? But what made you think now is the time?
Man, I feel like I've done a lot in the amateurs, and I've even fought some professionals that have come over and like from other countries and stuff. And in other countries, I fought like a pro in Europe in kickboxing. It's a bit. I guess.
Just big in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, so pros and amateurs do sometimes mix. I know we're not meant to and we're not allowed to, but there's always like little ways around that and whatever. So I feel like I was doing the right thing by fighting so much in the amateurs because I was getting like high level fights and fighting some pros here and there. But now basically the time to go pro is, I think is now because I want to take things to the next level.
Yeah.
I want to push it, and I definitely in the amateurs for MMA there was a rule that you weren't allowed to elbow people or knee to the face, and that was like
it's for MMA,
yeah. So I think the rule set really suited a wrestler, being that. But basically the main thing I just want to go pro to take it to the next level, challenge myself, and get on like some big promotions, and really try and. I feel like if you're not challenging yourself, you're not really doing much. Yeah. So that's the goal.
Got to be motivated.
Yeah.
And would Craig be your head coach?
Yeah, definitely. Craig.
Tell me a bit about your relationship with Craig.
Oh man, it's a good one.
Because I know he's long time coach, right?
Yeah, we've been together for a while. Like I remember stumbling across a gym at PCYC, and he was teaching kickboxing. He
was that up in Hornsby?
Yeah, it was PCYC, and I'd done some boxing there, and he basically just said, "Hey man, like come try kickboxing." Yeah. I think like a week, 2 weeks in, he booked me a fight, and ever since then we've just been trying to just knock him out.
So like a couple of weeks after you learning kickboxing?
Yeah, I was already fighting.
You a fight already?
I knew nothing about kickboxing. Like,
how'd you go?
Oh man, I won. I think I did really well. Yeah. I think I won my first few pretty convincingly, just having some boxing experience and. I find having that really helped. Like you said, like the culture and experience in boxing is pretty full on. Like I think we were sparring like 3-4 nights a week, and you know you're really trying
to be killed, man. Honestly,
like
I can only say it to someone who's ever, because it was literally that's what it was, and that's how I felt. It was like a shock to my system, It was just like, whoa, okay, like if you're either all in or not, because there's halfway, it's just gonna end up wrong. So so that definitely would have helped you, the boxing.
Massively. When I transitioned to kickboxing, it just.
And so what you guys started training in kickboxing and kind of fighting kickboxing fights. With Craig coaching you.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. He's helped me out a lot as a coach. Like he's been overseas with me, like so many different countries, like Africa, Asia, Europe, like pretty much traveled the world just to come and help me get ready for fights and corner me. So I owe Craig a lot. Like he's a legend, really good coach. Yeah. I was actually thinking about it.
Shout out to Craig.
Yeah, shout out to Craig. Thinking about it a lot, man. I wouldn't have been able to do some of these fights without him, like helping me. Even like the little things he does, like he wakes up in the morning early, gets the fight schedule, gets you in a taxi, gets you to weigh-ins, like he'll get you to a sauna when you need it. Like the little things count.
It's the things that people don't see, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes your life so much more easier.
On the same token, like I feel like he's got a hit out on me. Like, he he's got me some hard fights. He puts me in some like. Some heavy situations, which I like. Sometimes I'm sitting back and I'm like, when he's got me an opponent, I'm like, man, did you like go out of your way to try and find like the most?
He just wanted you to face adversity.
Yeah, I think so. Or just maybe doesn't like me. Maybe he wants to see me get beat up. I don't know. Like sometimes I always joke about with it. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to get me killed? He's like, it's good, fight anyone and. I think.
But what is he like now? Like now that you're going pro, is his mindset now, obviously be a bit more careful? I would say careful, but but what I sense is not being as active as you're probably in amateurs. Right?
I think it wouldn't be smart to do what I did in the amateurs. Like we were jumping up. I remember one time I jumped up like 8 kilos in a few days to fight, and doing crazy stuff like that. Like it was all cool for the experience and. Like I knew when he threw me in, I think we both knew in the deep water I'd be alright. Yeah. But in the pros, I think we want to be a lot more calculated. And like obviously with injuries and stuff like not fighting so frequently. Like I remember one time in Melbourne, I think we fought 3 times in one day, and that was like my friends back in Sydney were like, "What the hell? Like, how did you fight?"
Including myself, man. Including myself, but that's why you're here. That's why you're number one. You're the number one to kick everything off, man.
Yeah.
But that's crazy, man. And what's like your diet? So you must be on point with your diet, man, 24/7.
Man, I'm trying. I'm trying real hard, like especially.
And what's recovery like? Because obviously, we heard recently about the boxer that died recently. Maxim, his name was. He died of headshots, and recovery is a big thing. So what is it like for you, man? Like when you're so active and even active in a day, sometimes a couple of fights in a day.
Yeah, I think I've kind of developed a style where I don't take too much damage.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's enabled me to fight a lot. Like
a lot more active. Yeah.
Yeah, like the 3 fights in one day. I think I didn't come out with a scratch.
Yeah.
So that's definitely helped a lot. But I am aware, like if I've had a tough fight and have taken some shots, I'll definitely I'll know just to step back and recover, take a week or 2 off, don't spar for a month. Yeah. But I've been pretty fortunate not to have, I think, taken too much damage. But it all adds up. You got to be smart, like in the boxing gyms, like you go on a war and stuff, so you are gonna take some shots.
Yeah.
But I think
it's what you you basically ask for. So
you sign up for that. Like it's all in good. It's all in good spirits as well. Like that's one thing me and you have chatted a bit about, and I really like the idea of the boxing culture, and there's not really any ego in there. It's just like you're just there trying to get each other better, and it's just hard training. I think it definitely develops like some mental toughness.
Definitely.
You would have experienced that, right?
Definitely, yeah. Like, man, I remember my first day and my first sparring, and I remember telling Arnell I want it was January, and in March I wanted to fight in March, and I said, I'll go through whatever you got to put me through, right? Yeah. And I remember the first sparring session, just the pace and just it was just like you had to go to another place to get through whatever you're gonna get through in that day. But like just the walls that I broke, and shout out to Ricky, he was like a brother to me, and he took me under his wing and put in a lot of energy in me too. And man, he broke me mentally just to get me to go further and further, and you just learn about being in deep water, and that was kind of what it was. It was just off the first round, you just kind of blow your lungs, and then from there it's just survival kind of thing, and it was just crazy, man. It was for me mentally, it was something that I'd never experienced before, ever, and it was crazy. It was good. I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah, same. I'm definitely part of me is like, I don't really want to get back too far into that side of things, because I've already experienced it for years. But I'm so glad I did it. Yeah. And went through all that we talked about. Yeah, I think it's good.
So do you have like a team around you, man, or do you just kind of just have coaches and people you just kind of mess with and train with and stuff in different gyms?
I've been bouncing around a little bit. Just from gym to gym. It's hard to try and find everything in one place, I find. So I definitely have to travel to get my training in, which is, I guess, pretty normal for most people doing MMA.
Do you see that changing though? Do you see more MMA gyms popping up, or?
Yeah, I think the issue is not really MMA gyms popping up. It's just how good they are at everything. I'm sure there are some MMA gyms that have like everything going from like good jiu-jitsu, good striking and stuff. But at the moment, I'm kind of happy just doing my own thing, traveling around. I got some good training partners at other gyms that we just meet up. We train pretty hard. So at the moment, it seems to be working well.
And I was thinking the other day of the question that I wanted to kind of put out to you.
Shoot.
But I don't know if it's deep, but maybe it's a two-part question. But what does it mean to you to be a fighter? Right? When you think I'm a fighter, what does it mean to you? And what is the legacy that you would want to leave behind when you're like done and dusted in?
Hey, that's a pretty deep question.
Yeah.
First one, what does it mean to be a fighter?
And I know we're gonna sit down and talk, in the future. So
yeah. What is it? Yeah, I don't know. So that is
might revisit it then, but what is it to me? When you think, look, I'm a fighter. What does that mean to you? What is it about you? What is it about it that like fascinates you and makes you who you are?
That's a deep question. What do you mean to be a fighter? I think to me it does mean something. It's like I don't know, man. A lot of hard work. I think being a fighter and getting in there, especially if you're like someone fighting at a high level, I think it's like a pretty courageous thing to do. So I definitely say being a fighter, I think, is pretty courageous. You're putting your health and even sometimes maybe your life on the line when you fight. So I guess that would be the closest thing courageous I could think. I was digging deep for that one. I wasn't too sure. Another part of me wanted to say, man, I just like it. Like it's just I like to fight.
But that's I guess that's just what it is in the end, right? Some people like it enough to go and do it the way you want to do it and compete.
Man, if I could, like fighting has always been like ever since I was a kid. Like me and my brothers, we used to just fight. We'd fight each other. And like when I say we'd fight, I mean like it was pretty physical. Like and I was always copying it because they were older than me.
My brothers to kick my ass.
Yeah, man. So I'm kind of grateful that they did. I feel like it helped me get into martial arts a bit. And like I felt like I had a foot in the door already. Going through that, but I love fighting, man. I think I enjoy it. Even when I got like a hard person, I'm fighting a hard opponent. It's not like not an easy day. An easy day at work. I'm like, I'm in. I'm up for it. Yeah. Sometimes.
And you're 29.
I'm 29. Yeah.
And where do you see it? Like, what is it? You think about your future. Is it you just want to now just try to fight the best people? And
big names. I wanna obviously get my name out there, and I wanna eventually. I want to be number one in Australia for pro. So at the moment, I think I'm ranked number one in the amateurs in Australia and New Zealand. I want to be ranked number one as a professional for a lightweight in Australia and New Zealand. That's a long-term goal. I do want to fight on some big organisations and see how far I can push it. Like I think it's a cool experience getting to travel the world and fight. I've been lucky enough to do that in the amateurs. And
so it won't actually be foreign to you because you've actually actively done quite a bit. What are some of the places? I mean, if you they've been overseas, fought overseas.
Africa, Singapore, Thailand, Bahrain, Europe, New Zealand. There might be a few I'm missing out on, but like
there's still plenty.
There's plenty more to go. Like I want to fight. I definitely want to fight in America. I think it's becoming more of a realization that I'm gonna have to travel to fight on the professional scene. Like the more I'm learning about it, it's a bit like it's very, as you definitely know, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very political and getting fights and getting matchups is going to be quite hard. Like we've spoke to some promoters and no, it was crazy, man. This one promoter actually said to my coach, sorry, we can't get Cody on our card. We want to have a prestige show. We want experienced guys. And then my coach said, this is what Cody's done in the amateurs. He's had 60 something fights, blah, blah, blah. And they come back and said, well, we're not going to get him matched. No one's going to want to fight someone with that much experience that's got a 0 on their name. So I understand it's going to be hard to get fights here. I know there's definitely people that would love to fight me, but I think the goal with my coach, we talked about it, is to try and get a bunch of fights here, like a handful of fights, and then maybe go to America or China.
And
or something.
you guys know people there and stuff? Would you be able to set something up
Yeah.
for yourself?
Yeah, we got a few contacts from traveling overseas so much and meeting promoters and different people like that. I think my coach Craig, he knows a lot of people. He's got plans for me to fight in the Middle East at the end of the year on a professional show.
Yeah.
He also
Do you know
wants,
where in the Middle East?
Yeah, in Bahrain.
Bahrain, nice.
Yeah.
Going
Back to Bahrain. So hopefully that's just the plan. Nothing set in stone. He also wants me to fight in Japan. So sometimes he tells me what we're doing, and I just nod my head. And, all right, I'm in. So
but you think about it, man. At the same time, you get to explore these different countries and cultures, man. You're doing something that people will never get to do ever in their life, you know, and doing it for something you love as well and that you're passionate about.
Blessed.
But man, we could talk about so much, but thank you for coming, man.
Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. Honestly, I appreciate it. And man, I wish you all the best. I really do. I know I'm a big fan, and I hope that people, you know, using my platform and just you doing your job in the cage catch on as well and see how talented you are, man. I know your work ethic, and I'm sure people are going to see it one day. But I wish you all the best, man. But before we go, I got some of your accolades here. Yeah. All right, and I'm going to ask you which one stands out the most.
Okay, hit me.
So we got the WKBF Australian K1 champ, the WKBF Oceana K1 champ, the WKBF State K1 champ. You were 3 times champ. Yeah. Victorian Golden Gloves winner, New South Wales State boxing title, IMMAF MMA World Championships bronze medalist. Damn, man, these words. Ocean's gold medalist for the IMMAF. Yeah. And I'm going to call it IMMAF or whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
IMMAF,
You
man?
got it.
You should have just dropped that in there. I just literally I thought I made it up myself, but I bet you that's what they call it. Yeah. And then the African Open Championships silver medalist. Yeah. Out of all those ones, which one stands out?
Probably, obviously the bronze medal fighting the 32 bracket and making it to number 3 out of 32 fighters would have to be probably the hardest thing I've done. So probably that, or one of the kickboxing ones, the WKBF Oceana one, where that's one of the ones I thought my coach was giving me a hard test, where he flew a pro in from New Zealand, and the guy had 28 pro fights with 25 wins. So beating him was that was a big deal for me, just to be competing in all 3 sports and then having a professional kickboxer come across from another country and beating him that was definitely one of my achievements I'm pretty happy with.
I wish you all the best, man.
Legend.
And we'll definitely I'm sure we'll be sitting down and having a chat in the future, man.
100%.
Man.
Legend, Dana. Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.